sorry.
Hey, what's going on? Who was that?
Oh, sorry, Mary Catherine Elliott. Mary Catherine Elliott. It's so nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you, Mary Catherine. Right now I'm trying to record my speech for tonight's dinner.
Oh, yeah, I know. I just want to say that I'm Catholic, and tonight is one of the biggest dinners next to the Last Supper.
It is a very important dinner, and it's an important tradition that I'm so proud to be a part of.
Sometimes when I get nervous, I stick my fingers under my arms and I simmer them like that. But that's gross.
So tell me something. I'm giving a speech. Do you have some thoughts about what I might say tonight?
My feelings about what you should say tonight would be best expressed in a monologue from one of my favorite made-for-TV series.
Okay, let's hear it.
Don't you see, man? We need a woman to represent us. A woman brings more heart, more compassion. And think how smart she must be to become a top contender in a field dominated by men. It's time for a woman, bro. And with this woman, we can fly.
What series was that from?
Oh, that's from House of Dragons, now streaming on HBO Max.
Is there anything that you think that maybe I shouldn't bring up tonight?
Well, don't lie. Thou shalt not bear false witness to thy neighbor.
Indeed, especially thy neighbor's election results.
Just so you know, there will be a fact checker there tonight.
Oh, that's great. Who?
Jesus. And maybe don't say anything negative about Catholics.
I would never do that, no matter where I was. That would be like criticizing Detroit in Detroit.
Does it bother you that Trump guy insults you all the time? Because it really bothers my friends and me.
Oh, Mary Catherine, it's very important to always remember you should never let anyone tell you who you are. You tell them who you are.
Haters gonna hate. Shake it off.
Shake it off.
Shake it off.
Shake it off. Good for you, Mary Catherine.
Oh, yeah, okay. And also remember one more thing. Don't worry if you make a mistake, because Catholic people are very forgiving. Yeah, and also, one last thing I want to tell you, don't forget to say, superstar!
Thank you, Mary Catherine.
Thank you, Kamala.
Thank you. Your Eminence and distinguished guests, the Al Smith Dinner provides a rare opportunity to set aside partisanship.
So, well, folks, you tell me, was that cringe or was that cringe? This is a video submission to the Al Smith charity dinner. This is what the Kamala Harris campaign thought would be presentable to get, that idiot from Saturday Night Live to basically put her fingers in her armpit and then smell them. I mean, I know it's supposed to be comedy. Okay, fine. But you went from that to let this other person do a monologue skit for the majority of your video to the people at this Al Smith charity dinner. And then you ended it with about like 15 seconds of the whole point is to bring about a gathering of togetherness and of unity and to put aside partisan politics. Is that what you're doing? Is that what you did by not attending this dinner? The first time anyone, a presidential candidate, has not done this in Walter Mondale. We all know in the trash heap of history, of political history where he's at, nobody even knows the name anymore other than the fact that the guy lost 49 states. I mean, this is the stuff. But she had enough time to go on to that idiot degenerate Howard Stern, the Who's Your Daddy podcast, Charlemagne the God, all these other peripheral podcasters, influencers out there that she's literally probably speaking to the choir because they're probably liberals and progressives to begin with. But this one she misses. And hey, listen, we're so glad that she decided to miss this because this is just another nail in the political coffin of Kamala Harris. Now, I want you to listen to what His Eminence Cardinal Dolan had to say when he heard initially that she wasn't appearing. And just you tell me whether or not you think that was Cardinal Dolan, was he sort of throwing Kamala under the bus? Judge for yourself. Check this out.
Towards Catholics. Take a look.
Smith dinner is all about. We haven't given up yet. We're not used to this. We were looking forward to giving the vice president an enthusiastic welcome. And we were confident that she would find this. You know, she speaks very much about the high ideals and how it's good to get away from division and come together in unity and all. Well, that's what the Al Smith dinner is all about. We haven't given up yet. We're not used to this. We don't know how to handle it. This hasn't happened in 40 years since Walter Mondale turned down the invitation. And remember, he lost 49 out of 50 states. I don't want to say there's a direct connection there. But so we're not used to this, and we're not giving up. You know who's been a help to us, Lauren, is Senator Schumer and Governor Hochul. They both are working hard to see that they convince her to come.
So there's still a chance.
Yeah, and Senator Schumer said to me, he said, I don't think she made the decision. I think her schedulers are saying she can't make it. So we're not giving up. We hope.
Well, so obviously, Chuck Schumer and his ilk, acolytes, the Democratic Party, couldn't convince her to change her mind. So, you know, what are you going to do? But it was in terms of a political move that helped the Trump campaign, abso-freaking-lutely. Did it help Trump in terms of gaining more of the Catholic vote share across the country? Absolutely. Hey, you called the plays, you see what happens. This play was a stupid, stupid call politically by the Harris campaign. And if she doesn't have the thick skin to appear and take a few, jabs, a few barbs, some insults, be self-deprecating, well, what are you going to do? Anyways, folks, let's check out how the evening started off. And the comedian, I think James Gaffigan or something like that, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his last name or whatever, but he had some zingers for both sides. So check this out.
And while we're very sorry that Vice President Harris cannot make it here in person, we will be joined by her later via video.
Like president, right? After JFK, President Biden couldn't be here tonight. The DNC made sure of that. I guess I'm the only one that reads. This event has been referred to as the Catholic Met Gala. 22% of Americans identify as Catholic. Catholics will be a key demographic in every battleground state. I'm sorry, why is Vice President Harris not here? I mean, consider this. This is a room full of Catholics and Jews in New York City. This is a layup for the Democratic nominee. I mean, in her defense, she did find time to appear on The View, Howard Stern, Colbert, and the longtime staple of campaigning, the call her dad.
So yeah, folks, basically calling her out. I mean, you talk about hitting the bullseye, the political bullseye right in the freaking middle. Calling her out saying 22% of the electorate is Catholic. And yeah, so why aren't you here? I mean, just absolutely, right at the political heart of the Kamala campaign. And hey, every little bit helps, obviously, in terms of the political campaign, on Trump. Every seed of doubt that can be planted in any of those people that are on the fence still, sitting in the middle, those precious undecideds, independents, whatever you want to call them. These are the clips that are going to be posted on social media so that low information or low propensity voter or low information voter, when they see some of these things, maybe this sort of, this is the thing that says to them, oh, well, really? That was kind of stupid. You know what? I am going to vote for the other guy. I'm going to vote for Trump. Now, let's get to the man of the hour. Let's see some of the top 5, 6 things, the zingers that Trump got in. And folks, I'm telling you what, Trump has got such an impeccable sense of timing. I mean, he's just great. You've seen him before with Hillary Clinton. We put videos up there before. You can check those out. This is probably why that, Kamala Harris decided to skip it, because she saw how devastating Trump's, remember when he was on the Flagrant 2 podcast and he said, you just have to go swing, 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 right? Just those little zingers. And they add up. And she saw that how those zingers really, really went after Hillary Clinton. I don't think she wanted any part of that. Anyways, let's listen to Trump do his stand-up. I mean, this guy could have been a stand-up comedian if he wasn't a billionaire. All right. Check this out, folks.
The Democrats were crazy for saying that men have periods, but then I met Tim Walz. Well, I'd better wrap up because Mayor Adams told me earlier that I needed to make this one very quick, especially the city has reserved this room for a large group of illegal aliens coming in from Texas. There's a group called White Dudes for Harris. Have you seen this? White Dudes for Harris. Anybody know? Are some of you here? White Dudes for Harris? Doesn't sound like it. But I'm not worried about them at all because their wives and their wives' lovers are all voting for me. A major issue in this race is child care, and Kamala has put forward a concept of a plan. A lot of people don't like it. The only piece of advice I would have for her in the event that she wins would be not to let her husband, Doug, anywhere near the nannies. Just keep him away. That's a nasty one. Chuck Schumer is here looking very glum. Doesn't he look glum? He looks glum. But look on the bright side, Chuck, considering how woke your party has become. If Kamala loses, you still have a chance to become the first woman president.
So tell me those weren't absolutely zingers, folks. Come on. Tell me, you got, whether you're left, whether you're right, Republican, Democrat, independent, conservative, progressive, liberal, red or blue, male, female, anything in between, MICKEY, MOUSC, LGBTQI, whatever you are. The one with Chuck Schumer. He can still be first one. Come on, man. He's got impeccable sense of timing. If you don't believe me, if you don't think that those things were funny, check out what the CNN roundtable even had to admit, that Trump actually stole the show and won the night. So check out Brian Stelter and all the acolytes at CNN listening to basically knowing that Kamala Harris made a huge political misstep and that Trump took advantage of it and literally brought down the House. Check this out.
What did you make of this performance?
Oh, no, don't ask me first. I thought he was funny. I thought he actually got a few great jokes in. I thought the best moment was we talked about the assassination attempts and made light of what he's experienced, because I think he's experiencing real trauma, real PTSD as a result of the shootings, but he's still able to have a light moment in this room. And he took advantage of the fact that Kamala Harris wasn't there.
Which is really the subtext of this whole thing.
Exactly. That she
They're usually supposed to be in the same room.
No one would have noticed if she may have gone, but people noticed that she wasn't there.
Now, I'm an old fogey. I want these traditions to continue. I want our institutions to thrive. And yet I find myself agreeing that there's nothing funny right now. I mean, I thought he had some great one-liners. The line about, he was talking, now I'm going to forget them all, of course, on live TV.
The Eric Adams joke was very funny. Yeah, that was
There were a couple Eric Adams.
There were a couple jokes that were really good.
I want our politicians to roast each other. I want them to be able to be in the same room and find common ground.
But I think to
to
Lee's point, it does kind of strike me that the Harris campaign is sort of tacitly saying, hey, this ain't normal.
Yeah.
Trump is not normal, and I'm not going to sit here and kiki with him.
The last thing I would want if I were Kamala Harris in Trump.
Weeks. What do you think voters think about that?
Not much, really. I mean, I think Bill Clinton's been a terrible surrogate so far, honestly. I mean, the last 2 times we saw him in public, once he was making the case about how Kamala Harris has failed on immigration by invoking the Laken Riley situation and saying that the Biden-Harris administration not properly vetted the illegal immigrants who killed her.
Yeah, he also criticized Republicans for sinking the bipartisan border deal, too.
Fine. And then secondly, we saw him at the funeral for Ethel Kennedy making bizarre, like quasi-sexual references about her. I mean, he's been a terrible surrogate. And Obama was a terrible surrogate. And Harris was terrible on Fox News the other night. This is a campaign that cannot find a way to land the plane. And she's skipping the Catholic dinner. At the same time, one of her top surrogates is out cutting bizarre videos mocking communion. And I'm talking about the governor of Michigan, Whitmer. And so they have problems with Catholics. There's polling showing that Trump is bouncing back to 2016 levels with Catholics. They got problems with their surrogates, and they got a problem with a candidate who can't answer basic.
Yeah, so there you go, folks. CNN in a tizzy. They know themselves, even if they won't admit it, they know deep down in their political hearts that this was a huge, huge political misstep for the Kamala campaign. I mean, to literally shut out a huge group, religious group that you need every single, a tenth of a point in terms of votes is going to be crucial in every single election. And for you literally to basically piss off a huge electorate and lose some of those votes, especially what we're calling in the swing states, the battleground states, the Rust Belt. Wow, folks. That is a calculation that I think is a huge, huge, huge mistake that the Harris campaign made. And I'm glad they did. I'm all for that misstep, that mistake. Oh, yes, absolutely. Anything that helps the Trump side is good enough for us. Anyways, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasser Shake Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nasser. Hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, like, share, subscribe. You all know what to do. Take a look at our video links above and below. Comments, let us know what you think. I mean, where do you fall on this Kamala missing the Al Smith charity dinner? My final thought is always, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.